On August 15, 1947, after nearly 200 years of colonial rule, India became free. A civilization older than most nations on earth had reclaimed its destiny. But freedom arrived through sacrifice. Partition divided British India into India and Pakistan. Millions crossed borders overnight. Families were torn apart. Cities burned. Communities collapsed. Historians estimate nearly 10 to 15 million people were displaced. One of the largest human migrations in history. 4 millions. Independence did not begin with celebration. It began with survival. Yet even through fire, India did not collapse. It endured. Because this land had survived for thousands of years before. Empires had risen here. Empires had fallen here. But India remained. In 1947, India faced another enormous challenge. More than 562 princely states existed across the subcontinent. Without unity, the newborn nation could fracture apart. Then came one of the greatest acts of political integration in modern history. Led by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel and V.P. Menon, India united the princely states into one republic. Hyderabad, Junagadh, Kashmir. One by one, the map of modern India took shape. A nation was not merely declared. It was built. On November 26, 1949, India adopted its constitution. And on January 26, 1950, India officially became a republic. Led primarily by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the constitution promised justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. This was revolutionary. At a time when much of the world still denied rights to millions, rich or poor, man or woman, educated or uneducated, every voice mattered. The constitution became more than law. It became the soul of modern India. The early decades were difficult. India was poor, hungry, exhausted by colonial exploitation. In 1947, literacy stood near 12%. Life expectancy hovered around 32 years. Most villages lacked electricity and healthcare. But India chose construction over despair. The nation invested in dams, railways, factories, scientific institutions, and universities. Jawaharlal Nehru called these projects the temples of modern India. On August 18, 1951, the first IIT opened at Kharagpur. AIIMS was established on February 8, 1956. DRDO expanded defense research. And on August 15, 1969, ISRO was founded. India understood something important. A civilization survives only when knowledge grows faster than fear. History rarely allows nations peace for long. On October 20, 1962, India fought China in the Himalayas. The defeat was painful. But India learned. Then came war again. On August 5, 1965, India fought Pakistan. And again in 1971. That war changed South Asian history forever. Millions of refugees fled into India from East Pakistan. India intervened. And on December 16, 1971, Pakistan surrendered in Dhaka. Bangladesh was born. The young republic had proven its strength before the world. India wanted peace. But it would never accept surrender. During the 1960s, India faced food shortages and famine risks. Some believed India would always depend on foreign grain. But India adapted. Scientists like Dr. M. Swaminathan led the Green Revolution. High-yield crops, modern irrigation, agricultural reform. Punjab and Haryana transformed. India moved from food scarcity to self-sufficiency. The fields themselves became symbols of national resilience. On May 18, 1974, India conducted its first nuclear test. Smiling Buddha. A message echoed across the world. India would protect its sovereignty. A civilization once colonized would never again remain defenseless. Then on May the 11th and 13th, 1998, India conducted the Pokhran nuclear tests. India declared itself a nuclear weapons state. The nation had entered a new strategic era. In 1991, India faced severe economic crisis. Foreign reserves nearly collapsed. The country stood at a crossroads. Then on July 24, 1991, India changed direction. Led by Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha and Finance Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh, economic liberalization transformed the nation. Restrictions were reduced. Private enterprise expanded. Global investment flowed in. And India began rising economically at historic speed. A new middle class emerged. Cities transformed. The Indian economy entered the global stage. During the 1990s and 2000s, India became one of the world's technology centers. Cities like Bangalore transformed into global innovation hubs. Indian engineers powered the digital revolution. Companies like Infosys, TCS, and Wipro became internationally respected. The world began outsourcing software and knowledge work to India. A civilization that once pioneered mathematics and astronomy was now helping build the digital future of humanity. But perhaps the most symbolic transformation came through space. India's space program began humbly. Rocket parts were once carried on bicycles and bullock carts. Yet ISRO kept moving forward. Slowly, relentlessly. On April 19, 1975, India launched its first satellite, Aryabhata. Then came Chandrayaan 1. Launched on October 22, 2008. It discovered evidence of water molecules on the Moon. Then Mars. On September 24, 2014, India entered Mars orbit successfully on its first attempt. No other nation had achieved that before. And then came August 23, 2023. Chandrayaan 3 landed near the Moon's south pole. India became the fourth nation to soft land on the Moon, and the first nation to reach the lunar south polar region. From ancient astronomy to interplanetary exploration, the civilization had entered a new age. Today, India stands as the world's largest democracy, one of the fastest growing major economies, a nuclear power, a digital giant, and a spacefaring civilization. Over 1.4 billion people, thousands of languages and cultures, yet one nation, one tricolor, one shared destiny. Challenges still remain. Poverty, pollution, inequality, climate pressure. But India has faced greater storms before, and survived them all. More than 5,000 years ago, cities rose beside the Indus River. Civilizations flourished here when much of the world still wandered in tribes. India gave humanity mathematics, philosophy, medicine, astronomy, and spiritual traditions that shaped civilizations. Then came centuries of invasion, colonization, partition, war, and poverty. And yet, India endured. Because India was never merely a country. It was an idea. An ancient civilization constantly reinventing itself. From the ashes of partition to the surface of the Moon, modern India became proof of one timeless truth. Great civilizations survive not because they avoid struggle, but because they rise through it. And the story is still being written. In classrooms, in laboratories, in startups, in villages, in space missions, in the dreams of hundreds of millions of young Indians. Perhaps that is India's greatest strength. Not certainty, but motion. A civilization too ancient to disappear, and too ambitious to stand still.